One of the great words that stands out to me is the word serendipity. When we ask this gratitude question around our dinner table, there's only so many characters someone can answer: a parent, a grandparent, a teacher, a mentor, a friend, a colleague, an ex bad boss, God, their dog, themselves, whatever,
a neighbor.
And so when you're sitting next to someone that you perceive to have nothing in common with, and A, they've just passed you the bread, because you can't hate someone that just passed you the bread, but B, you hear them give gratitude to a grandparent who served in World War II, and then it flickers in your heart and mind, remembering your own grandfather who served as a cook in the Navy in World War II. That's a moment of serendipity that you and someone you thought you had nothing in common with just shared. And it makes y'all connect in ways unimaginable. And so what I've learned is that everybody's got a story to share. They're all yearning to share it. People are burnt out, but I think they're burnt out because they're lonely. And when you remove all that fluff and just let people just come, God, it shifts their hearts and minds and souls. It nourishes their souls, right? We talk about social health as the next frontier of well-being. We talk about social connection. We talk about social fitness. Hannah Pryor talks about social muscle atrophy. Vanessa Van Edwards talks about social fluency. Smiley talks about belonging. Riaz talks about conversations. I talk about something just bone deeper: soul and social nourishment. And when you feed that hunger in your people, they'll be with you for a lifetime, and they'll do anything you want.
Right, because that fabric is a bond that goes
bone deep.
Yeah.
It's bone deep. Yeah. By the way, Cornell found that when teams eat together, they actually work better together as a team. Save more lives. Yeah. They did a whole study on firefighters, and they proved that when firefighters eat spaghetti in the firehouse, they actually work better together as a team, and they save more lives. The parallel metaphor of shopping together, cooking together, serving each other, eating together, talking together, and then cleaning up together, it blends itself to the actual working together, having a base layer of trust, having the safety to have productive conflict and constructive challenge, challenging the insights of others, and then co-creating new solutions. It's a perfect parallel metaphor in the workplace.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so harmonious, it almost feels unreal, but it's real.
There's an actual diagram and like a scientific study that I'll send to you to put in the show notes below. It's ridiculous how scientific this simple act of dining together. First of all, in a global health report, they show that the difference in life expectancy between dining alone and dining with at least one other person, let alone 16 other people, the difference in life expectancy and overall well-being is a higher boost in well-being than income or unemployment. Duh.
Yeah. So everybody get together and grab somebody and break some bread.
If you're watching this and it's a really hard time for your company and you can't pay people more, lean in with social connection, lean in with gratitude. It's not going to fix the base layer of Maslow's hierarchy, but it's going to give them the, discretionary effort, to at least stay and give you, patience while you're trying to make it up.
It's a sustenance from which to be connected. So, which is kind of your core virtue.